Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for July's Mission Inspiration Art Challenge, and this is the prompt sheet for the month. So this month we're delving into the deep blue. So it's all about drifting and dreaming. It's freedom and open spaces, but particularly we're talking about ocean spaces. So it could be a beach, it could be actually on the water, be anything like that. So shades of blue, water and ripples, boats, shells or fish images, fabric or ribbon. That's an interesting one. Watercolours and washes. So there we go. That is the prompt. So let's get started on the page. I have already, I'll just move that out of the way quickly. Oh, that's my wet wipes. That's it, a bit more central to the page. I have already taken a pencil and kind of worked out what my composition this month is kind of going to be. So I've kind of divided the page into three separate layers. So I've got basically sky, sea or surface and below. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing today. So the colours that I've chosen, actually the blues that I've chosen, the blue in fact, is just going to be the Williamsburg blue from Deco Art Americana. So it's kind of a greyish blue, and to lighten that, instead of using white, I've actually got some kind of creamy colours, beigey kind of colours. So these are from the indigo blue, and believe it or not, they're portrait range. So I've got fair and I've got porcelain. So indigo blue do a range of paints and what they call their portrait range, and right the way from porcelain it goes right the way up through middle to beige, and then gets darker and darker until you get right into those kind of lovely yummy chocolatey skin tones. So there's something for everyone there, of any skin kind of colour. So what I want to do is, I've got my paintbrushes here. I'm going to kind of create a bit of a sketchy kind of blended top part. And this is kind of like where I've said before, like my skills as an artist, as a painter, kind of show through, because, or should I say lack of skill as a painter kind of shows through, because I'm not very good at water. But we'll see anyway. Right, let me just grab some of that blue to start off with. I haven't put any gesso on the page at all. And I'm going to open the porcelain, which is the lightest of those colours, because that's what I want to blend. Top part over here, I want lighter, and then coming over to blue towards here. So I'm going to create a kind of sky without creating a sky, if that makes sense. I've got a little bit of water just to loosen up the paint in a kind of a wash. I've just dribbled it all over the page now. It's a good job I'm using mixed media cardstock, because otherwise it would just buckle, but this doesn't. So I'll just take a little bit of water, a little bit of that blue, just to kind of create a bit of a wash. Now the paper will kind of sink in quite quickly. But you can still create a fairly decent kind of wash with acrylic paint fairly quickly. So we'll dip into there, and then we can come in and then start layering that kind of creamy colour over the top. And I did kind of shake these up first, and it doesn't matter if they're a bit muddy. It's just a muddy sky day. And I'm one of those people that kind of likes to see brush strokes, so I don't mind it being kind of painterly. It's a warm day today, so it also means that the paint's going to be drying fairly quickly, just as I'm kind of like layering. Right now I'm going to start to pick up the paint using the same brush, and this is where we kind of start blending the two together. and then grab a little bit of that porcelain again. And then a bit more down here. Just kind of along that horizon line. I'll pick a bit more of the blue. So it almost kind of looks a little bit like clouds. Like I said, I'm not particularly fantastic at these kind of cloudy effects, but it will do. And then bring that blue in again. A bit darker. Just to kind of create a, not necessarily, it's not really a stormy sky, a stormy sea. A little bit more water. And maybe just blend that a little bit. May need a little bit more than that. Almost like wave breaks, if you like. Sometimes the trick is to just kind of step back a little bit. And then a bit more of a washy colour right down here towards the bottom. A little bit more darkness down there. A little bit over here. Like I said, I don't want it to be too kind of stormy. Definitely not. And I will be doing a little bit more kind of paint blending with my focal point in a little while. Sorry for the shaking. So I still haven't fixed my camera to the wall properly yet. One of these days I will get round to it. So you can see I've kind of got 3 different areas on the page, kind of like a horizon line there. I'll just lift that up a little bit. There we go. And then we've got the main kind of like foreground. Now this is looking, on my screen in front of me, this is kind of looking a bit grey. But in real life it's not, it's more, it is definitely bluer. Maybe I do need to include, maybe incorporate a different type of blue, maybe something a bit brighter. So I've got true blue here, so let me just drop a little bit on my desktop there, and then maybe just try and lighten that tone a little bit. And I'm working across in lines. Let's just add a little bit of water just to loosen it up a tad. Better. Lighten those blue tones up a little. Much better. And then let's create a little bit of that blue wash. A bit more water. There we go. Yeah. Happy with that. Alright, so let's just grab another of my journals. Let's just grab this one, just so that I'm not wasting that paint, because I have had comments. So I can pick up this paint, drop it on here, and that can serve as a background for another page later on. And I can just close that, and while it's wet, there we go. So I can put that over to one side to dry, and then I can use that again at a later date. Now, I don't feel so bad about mopping up. So I'll have a quick tidy, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So now that that's tidied and dried, I'm going to come back in with this porcelain colour, because I do want to kind of add a few kind of watery kind of marks. Oh, helicopter over there now. We don't live too far away from one of those like private airports, so we're always getting like helicopters and private planes flying over. And I'm just going to create kind of a wavy, kind of ripply effect. The master at these kind of effects was David Hockney. And he sadly passed away this year. At a ripe old age though. A good innings, as they say. Okay. I like that. So now I'm going to bring out my first focal point, which is the boat. And I wanted to put that up there somewhere. So can you see why I decided I wanted to put that kind of focal image, create that kind of effect? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that in, and then I'm going to come back in with a bit of the paint and just kind of blend that boat out. Or blend it in, not out. Alright, flip that over, and then about there, I think. Sailing on a Summer Breeze, there we go. Ooh, good title for a song, that, somewhere. So a little bit more of that blue, a little bit more of that blue, and a little bit more of that porcelain. And this is going to be a gentle blend. That didn't take long for it to disappear, did it? Yeah. sometimes it doesn't. And what we could do is just maybe add a little bit of that porcelain colour just into the image itself, just to kind of help reinforce the fact that it is actually blended a little bit. There we go. So a little bit of that lighter blue. That's it. There we go. One boat sitting on a little bit of ocean. So again, just grab that. Grab a brush. Right, so I can use that again, like I said, at a later date. Okay, and I think we're ready to build the rest of the collage items that are going to go on that boat there. So I'll just have a quick drink because it is rather warm, and I can feel the back of my throat starting to go. So I'm just going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So now that's pretty much dry, I can start adding on my kind of collage items. So what I've got to start off with, I've got 3 pieces of faux ribbon for fabric. So these are like faux muslin or cheesecloth or seam binding. I do have some seam binding somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone to. So I can't really use any reel. So I've got these 3 pieces here that I'm going to lay across that bottom or the top of that 3rd section. Remember I said we had the sky, then we had the surface, and then we had beneath. So this is going to be the surface to the beneath part. And I'm going to stick this bit of muslin, faux muslin, because it is just paper. Okay, and I'm going to stick that pretty much just around about there, just in that kind of foreground, and see almost straight away it disappears, doesn't it? And I'm not distressing the edges, so I don't want to add any kind of brown bits to this. Now I did think about it, which is why my lovely distress oxide that was sent to me by the lovely Sandy is already out, but I don't think I'm going to use it. And I'm going to have got a little piece of like a bluey one just to kind of tone those colours in. And then I can flip that over and just kind of put it at that side there. And again, they're kind of wavy, so they do kind of mirror the shape of the waves. But what I've also got now is I've got a selection of other bits of ephemera and quotes that I want to use. So we'll use those 2 in a little while. Put those over there. And then I've got a little nautical map, which is a bit too big. I think perhaps maybe I should have waited to stick that down first before putting that other one. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really. Okay, So let's create this little cluster in this bottom right hand corner. So about here. And then we've got a little bit of like a treasure map. Because why not? We're out at sea. And I'm going to stick that out there. And then I've got this little patch of like faux denim. It's almost like a pocket. I'm going to stick that down just there. And then I've got a little journaling number. Oop. That I want to stick down about there. That's okay, I like that. And then we've got another one here that says journal number 47. And I'm going to use that to break up that line there. So that's going to be my little cluster there, but I don't want that to finish there because I've got another faux ribbon, again made out of kind of blue hessian or cheesecloth or muslin or whatever it is you want to call it. I'm going to add that just down there. And then I'm going to add this little seashell. Not sure what the name of that type of seashell is. I'm going to put that kind of resting in that corner. I did think about using that blue one, but it's a bit much. So I'm going to use this one over here. And then just to kind of finish off that cluster, I've got two little quotes. So the first one says, "Let your dreams drift." And that's going to go up here. And then down here, we've got "Go where the current carries your soul." And I'm going to tuck that one just there in that bottom corner. So we've got that cluster that leads up and over there. And then a little black pen. And just because, I'm going to do a couple of faux birdies. Because why not? Why not indeed? So there we go. I like that. I like that a lot. Have I normally signed it? I have normally signed it. So for a change, let's just sign it over here. So we'll go. And today's date, I'm doing this on the Friday before the Saturday, so it's the 3rd today. So let's have a look. How did we get on with that challenge then? So we've got shades of blue, water and ripples, boats, shells or fish images. Yes, and yes. Fabric or ribbon. Yes. Watercolours and washes. Absolutely. Open spaces? Yes, I think so. So, although there's nobody in that boat, it is a bit of a Marie Celeste. But I hope you've enjoyed watching me create my art journal page based on the prompt for July for the Mission Inspiration. If you want to join us, if you haven't already joined us over in our Mission Inspiration Art Challenge Facebook group, that is the URL on the screen, but there will be a clickable link below this video. So all you have to do is just click on the link and then just ask to join, and then you can take part in all of these fabulous monthly art challenges, and we'd love to see what you create too. So there is that. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.